can see the hate, I can see the lies. See it in your face, read it out your eyes. Why they watching me? They got their eyes on me. Why they watching me? They got their eyes on me. They want it, while I get it. They losing while I'm winning. It's the rules of the game you playing. In your eyes, I can see you hating. Why they watching me? They got their
How are you?
All good, all good.
Today here
How
we
you
are.
feeling?
Today Liam and I invited Jason, one of the most experienced PTs that we know in Peterborough, with a great rate of success and dozens of transformations. So, Liam, do you have any questions for Jason?
Well, I kind of want to speak a little bit about you're transitioning at the moment, aren't you, from more online stuff?
Yes, yeah, I am. Yeah. It wasn't like I say, it wasn't really an easy decision to make at the time because obviously the first lockdown hit, and everybody PT wise was thrown into that awful position of like, oh my god, what am I going to do with my clients? Are they just gonna bail? Are we gonna hear back from them? And I'll see people like doing stuff online, and I didn't think anything to it. To be fair, the first 4 to 5 weeks was like the worst 5 weeks of my life because I was thinking about paying my bills, paying my mortgage, and I thought I just went like everyone else. I suppose we all went through a little bit of a kind of depressing stage, but at the same time, we kind of like let our foot off the gas because I was doing 72 hours a week in the gym group at that time. You know, working 4:30 a.m. in the morning to 10. But part of me just got really lazy and was going outside and I was just laying in the garden, tanning it up because we had that incredible weather, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just thought I just can't do this anymore. I've got to do something because I've always been a proactive person. I just thought I need to do something. So obviously I see this guy online, and then next thing you know, I was messaging him, and it was from there I kind of just where I started going online. But it wasn't easy. I had to start a brand new business venture on my own, and I had to build it up slowly, and it takes time. You know, with social media being the way it is, it was never an easy task because you've got to re-engage. You know, I hadn't used my Instagram profile for 2 years, like not done a story or anything for 2 years. So yeah, it's pretty good. But it's scary. I think sometimes it's still scary, you know, thinking about it now, like how things have been, and now going into a second lockdown, how it's going to affect people as well. What about you guys?
It's one thing following on to that. It's really interesting what you said, because I found it, for example, every person that reaches any kind of success, I always look how they got it there, and the first thing that they say is, I was doing a lot of stuff wrong and I found a mentor. And you said the same thing. You found this guy online to teach you. How big was his role for your success as an online coach? Was it a really big part, or do you think you could have found it that way without him?
Massive. Like, if I hadn't met Adam, I think I probably would have done nothing. I would have sat at home, waited it out, got too comfy with going outside, chilling in the garden, getting tanned more every day. I think if I'd not signed up and had that business, it took me. It's not something I thought about. I was worried. So I was getting advice from I spoke to Alex. You know Alex, and he says, yeah, it's worth. You've got to self-invest. You've got to invest into yourself. And I thought I haven't invested into myself for a very long time. So once I actually got on board, I think it was the call, guys. It was the call. Like the initial call was the game changer for me. Like the 30 minutes with him, and he'd sold me. Do you know what I mean? I thought, well, I've got money. What am I doing worrying about money? If I've got I'll have to invest into myself. And I think it was that initial 30 minutes. He didn't make it sound like a sales call. It was kind of like he went into details, but he goes, there's no pressure, have a think about it. And within, I think, 30 minutes, I was like, right, just get me started. I want to get going. And it went from there. And the support was brilliant. Really, really amazing. Great network of people. The structure of transitioning was really good as well. there's a lot of information to read, a lot of videos, but at the same time, it was incredible because I'm not very tech-minded myself, and obviously being online, one of the first differences is noticing that the tech side of things was, oh Christ, I'm thinking I've got to do this and I've got to do that, and I'm video making and doing extra stuff, and I thought it is more time consuming than you think. And then I had to outsource some bits as well because I'm not fantastic with that kind of thing. So I did the things I knew I could do, and at the same time the things that I knew I couldn't do that were really stressing me out at the beginning, I just paid someone to do that because I knew it would have saved me time. But he goes into all that kind of detail, but it is very full on. The first 6 weeks, probably the hardest 6 weeks of my life, but you start with nothing.
Yeah. Would you, knowing what you know now, would you done this transition earlier, or do you think you started in a perfect time?
Do I wish I'd started earlier? Looking back now, I'd probably say I probably wish I had started earlier on, but then it was an opportunity. I think lockdown, a lot of people, there's two ways it can go. You can let it get you down and think of the worst case scenario, or you can kind of think, okay, is this an opportunity for me to improve what I'm doing, or is it an opportunity, or is it going to be like going to get the better of me and then start taking you into depression and worrying about money and everything else? And I thought, well, this guy was so certain about me, like, doing well online and stuff like that. I just needed that encouragement. And I think for me, if I knew what I knew now, sitting in the seat, I think maybe I would have done it maybe 2 or 3 years back. But I loved PT at that time, Yeah. I really loved PT. And I think I lost that love for it the minute I started doing too many hours. I blame myself for that. I did too many hours, and like everybody else, work life takes over, and it just literally, your whole life is just revolving around work. You don't have time to socialise. You don't have time to see friends. I think I've learned more in lockdown about socialising, or at least interacting with people through like things like this, and FaceTime and Zoom calls. Where I wasn't even, doing that before, So I've given myself a lot more time, a lot more hours I have to myself, freedom now, which is what I love.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to say. Like, what's one of the best things you think that's the difference between one-to-one PT and then the online road?
I would say the difference between one-to-one and online is depending on how you build the relationship with a client for a start. So if it's one-to-one, someone will come in, they'll do their hour, and some people, how it is. If you get clients, they probably won't always take that session seriously. They'll just turn up. It's kind of like a social call. Class is a social call. But then they go home and there's nothing that happens beyond that. I think they just turn up for their 2 or 3 sessions a week. We don't know what's going on at the weekend with them. We don't know what's going in between the days of their sessions. And I think with online, I think it's nice because once you have a system in place, you can manage that person on a daily basis, and you can track what they're doing with their food. It's a lot more of I would say a lot more in-depth process in regards to mindset, and obviously them doing check-ins every week, so you can see where they're at. And I guess, things are just a lot easier as well, because, I can speak to people a lot easier and have a personal relationship with them when I'm online coaching. Whereas when you've got someone in the gym, you're literally just seeing them for that 1 hour, 3 times a week. And you're just kind of hoping that they're going to do okay with the program you give them, and that's it. Obviously you'll speak to them when you see them, but online you've got to be pretty much communicating with people, on a day-to-day basis. So I think online does have its advantages, but some people won't always want to go down that route because some people just want to be coached one-to-one, but they just like that feeling of interacting and getting pushed hard. Whereas with the online, you still can do that, but you're never going to be there pushing them fully to how they want to be pushed. But not everybody wants to be pushed. A lot of people who just want to drop weight, drop body fat and look better, they just want to drop body fat. They don't want to be made to feel sick in the gym, or struggling to walk down the stairs like I've had with some of my clients after they've had a leg workout. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, there is differences there, but I would probably say, yeah, I think I enjoy online more now because now I've got a system in place that I've managed, and I had to go through a lot of stress to get to them systems, and get everything managed to how I wanted it. But I do love it a lot more because it's nice, when I've got my own app, it's built in, and I can manage as many people as I want on it, and I can see the check-ins done, and I guess giving them video feedback as well every week is really good, and just using like new technology to make it look really good, just cutting edge stuff, so just they know they're getting value for money.
Do you, asking now about your rate of success, has it increased on online, or do you think in one-to-one your rate of success was higher?
I'd probably say, being as I've been coaching the short time I have, I think I have got more transformation since I've been in lockdown than I probably have done one-to-one PT. Like, I've probably had more transformations the last maybe 6 months than I've had probably the last 6 years.
What
I still got. My aim was to always get one transformation a week on my Instagram because I was so passionate about getting people into a good stage. At the moment, I've been keeping to that rule. So every Tuesday, I will always post a transformation to show what I can do. So the rate of success is very high online. Obviously, people adhere to what you're telling them. It's down to people are committed and they really want it, they'll do it. And all they've got to do is follow the plan, be consistent. Like, that's even the same with one-to-one. If they turn up to their PT sessions for, say, 3 to 6 months, they can make great success. But if they don't, then they're just, all they're doing is paying for something they're not actually utilising and getting the best from.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Liam, can you relate to a lot of cases that have not been successful, that that your clients have been lying to you?
Oh,
yeah, that's a big. I think with the one-to-ones, because obviously I started doing a little bit of the online. I think with the one-to-ones, it can be very. They turn up, they do the session, and then again, you might not see them for 3 or 4 days or a week. And it's very easy for them, the next session you have a catch up and they go, oh yeah, I eat really well. I don't know why I'm losing weight. And it is hard to have that engagement with them all the time, especially obviously when you have got other one-to-one clients at the same time as well. But I think I've kind of put mine together. So when I did sort of similar to what Jason did, like did a online sort of course and had some sort of tutoring. I had a couple of online clients, but I eventually just turned them into one-to-ones because I just prefer one-to-one approach. I didn't mind doing like what you're doing, but I just prefer doing the one-to-one. But the one thing it has taught me is I communicate with my client one-to-one so much better now. And I probably wouldn't have got to that, or if I did, it would have taken me a lot longer if I didn't do the things I was taught through my tutoring for online coaching, like my sales calls, genuine communication, like every day. The way I send my clients their calories and diet information, the way I send them their training programs if they haven't got a session with me or anything like that. It's just made me, I think, from doing something that originally I really wanted to go onto online only, to then doing a little bit of it and going, you know what? It was the opposite for me. Like, I know you said about you kind of fell out of love with one-to-one, and obviously this sort of ignited you. For me, it was it made me realise I actually like one-to-one more than I thought I did.
Yeah.
So many more steps and processes that has made me a better one-to-one coach. Everyone's different. Some people, again, everyone's different, and the way they coach people well. But I think that just massively helped me. But But yeah, you do obviously one-to-one. It can, if you haven't got it set up properly, it can be so much harder because again, you don't speak to them as often. You don't see them as often. It's so much easier to lie to someone you haven't seen for a whole week than it is to every day you speak to them. So yeah, do you struggle with that, Filipe?
To be honest, I haven't been training anyone at the moment, although I am training a friend, but we catch up every day, so it's kind of easier. My attention is going to only for one person. But Jason, interesting. You said that you worked a lot of hours, yeah, before when you were doing PT.
Yeah.
A lot of PTs like to make the transition to online coaching because they think it's going to be less time consuming. But you learned this from experience that only to create one post, it probably takes you an hour or something, or even more.
Yeah.
So
It's
to plan your day, I can believe it's really time consuming and spending time with a person that needs that attention. It's a lot. You need to spend a lot of time. I think the only thing you get that it's good. It's you probably control now your own schedule and
correct.
and you don't have this session at this time only when this person can. But it's still a lot of work to do. So going into online coaching just to do less, it's not the right path, is it?
No, I mean the idea of online coaching is it's more kind of financial freedom. It's like kind of earning, a salary where you're gonna not be stuck on the gym floor the amount of hours I was doing, because everybody knew how many hours I was doing in that gym. And I loved being there. I was there 8 years for 8 years, and it was routine. You'd get up, sometimes 3:30 in the morning, first client at 4 sometimes, and I wasn't getting home till 10. But then when I thought it was massively impacting my relationship, then that's when I knew that I needed to change something. So if I changed it 2 years ago, it would have been a different scenario. But I think as soon as lockdown came, I thought, well, this is the only chance I've got. And I guess people are going to be transitioning online because they kind of have to do something. Now, when gym's going to go back to normal from December, then I think it's still going to be a slow process, because obviously when people were coming back on July the 23rd, I think there was still a little bit of uncertainty for people to go back in the gyms because everything had been changed, didn't it? With the restrictions, and some gyms only allowing booking systems to come in and out. I think until that goes completely, I think gyms are only going to be operating around 75% for that period of time. They'll still get busy. They're just not going to be 100% until everything is back to kind of normal, which we don't know when that is, do we?
I believe even a lower percentage, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah. I'll just literally, that was it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's
This January's going to be awful.
Yeah, and do you know what? Someone said to me the other day about January being nice, but I actually think people are going to be really struggling in January, because it's an uncertainty again, isn't it? Now we know gyms are really busy in January, and it's like prime time for PTs and gyms. They just get so many clients, and people are struggling because they've gone through 7 days of Christmas, probably put on £10. And they need help because they've done the same pattern over the last 5 years, and they think, right, I've got to do something about it now, because otherwise I'm going to be in a dark hole in the next 6 months going into summer. But it's that same mentality, people, they get to Christmas, they have a bad lapse, and then they go, oh yeah, if I start in January, I'm going to be ready for summer. And we know they don't do that, because they last 4 weeks, 6 weeks, and then you don't ever see them again.
3 days sometimes. Yeah, but it's funny because for example, I know that a lot of people after lockdown, they spend a lot of time thinking. They said, well, I need to better myself now. For example, you, Jason, I think it was one of the few people that I know that came as a different person from the lockdown, but professionally you're in a better situation. And I think we know that a lot of people came as a different person after lockdown, for the better or the worse. And some people started the gym after lockdown, and they started, and then they realize another lockdown happening. I think January is not going to be that busy in the gyms because a lot of people will use that as an excuse. Like, I will go to the gym, start again, and then the gym will be closed in 2 months. Why should I start? It's so easy to find excuses not to go to the gym.
Like, for us, it's easy because obviously we're all like, we've been in the fitness industry, like we actually have a passion and a love for gym, right? But it's like, if someone has never had that and their whole idea was, like their first ever time in gym is because of the lockdown, because they realised they wanted to better themselves, and they make a turnaround and they think, right, I need to sort my weight out or my mentality out, so I'm going to now go to the gym. Yeah. And then people who haven't had enough time to gain the love for the gym, they're kind of just trying it out, seeing how they get on. And then 2 months later, 3 months later, they shut it again. In their mind, they're thinking, what's the fucking point? Because it's so easy to do that if you have a love or a passion for it. So all these people that are trialing out the gym in the past year, that's why I think January is shit, because most people who, after 2 lockdowns, and I think for a lot of people, losing their jobs or struggling financially, it's just going to be at the bottom of their priority now, especially when are uncertain and they think, well, what's the point? Because I don't want to take out whatever amount a month membership and pay PT and really focus on my health if we're going to go into lockdown again and I'll just end up drinking and eating again. Yeah. That's how. And I'm thinking either, because if I didn't have a love and passion for it, I'd probably feel the same a little bit. Like driving lessons. If someone's learning to drive now and they're struggling with getting sessions in because of what's going on, they're probably just going to turn around and go, you know what, I'm wasting my money. I'm not learning anything because I'm only doing 1 session every 3 months. So I'll just hold off and I'll wait until this is all blown over and I can then book them week by week by week for the gym. And I think the fitness industry is, I think it's going to struggle a lot this year. I think PTs that drop out or go completely different because you're self-employed, and that's obviously a hard thing as it is. What do you think to that?
I think the lockdowns are testing a lot of PTs if they really want to be PTs. I think the ones that are not 100% committed to this as a career, they will crumble. So, for example, Jason is not a case of that because he was a PT for so many years. He just found a different route how to sell his service. He's still a PT. Yeah. You still are a PT, Liam. You're still firing. But we have seen a lot of PTs being tested and leaving. Like, when we start the gym, how many have left? Yeah. But yeah, I think it will test a lot of PTs and how bad they really want to do this as a career. But I do believe as well that the ones that stay, this was a massive learning curve for them, and if this didn't shake them and didn't make him quit, I think they will prevail in the long run. But yeah, this is what I think. Jason, a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're the one that you probably have been doing this PT for longer than any of us. When you started this career, how much has this changed to today's?
Oh my God. Mate, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I'd say it's just the amount of people, if I'm honest, the amount of people coming in. When I started off as a PT, it was literally, there was very few of us around. You know what I mean? I just think in the last 5 years, I think since females started wearing Gymshark leggings in the gym, I think there's been more people trying to become PTs than there is members. It's crazy. It is crazy. I swear to God. Like, I don't know. I think females in a gym environment it's a dominating environment more for females now. which is not a bad thing, you know, because women want to honestly realise that, you know, there is inspiration, like there's a lot of Instagram inspiration that females follow, so that enables them to go to the gym. They spend their first £100 on their Gymshark kit and they're in the gym. And it kind of goes from there, you know, where I think it used to be men that was kind of over, it was always guys in the gym, wasn't it? You know, you probably see 2 females in the gym if you were lucky. When I started PTing, there was probably 2 people out of, say, 100 or 200 members that were in a gym. Now, you're probably looking for, I don't know, 60, 40, 40, 60, either way, aren't you? If you look at the amount of difference. Yeah. I mean, women just want to train, don't they? They want to be in the gym. They've realised the benefits of going into the gym, feeling good, lifting weights and all the other stuff, rather than just being a zombie cardio walker in January, like 50 other people on the treadmills in the gym, you know? It always happens, and it still happens. But it has changed massively. Yeah, the amount of people becoming PTs as well, that's changed. Like now, I think it's almost too easy to become a personal trainer.
I was gonna ask you that.
Not that I'm saying I don't think my qualifications weren't like some of the better courses that are out there now that are really in depth, because I think they've had to make the PT courses a little bit more difficult. But at the same time, it's easy for someone to go $2,500 and now qualify as a PT within, you know, well, I'm not going to mention names, but you know exactly where I'm coming from. You know, like you could, you know, become a PT in 6 months or whatever. And so that's not the case. Like, if you want to be a PT, you need to have experience. I think you need to be at least knowing how to train yourself properly, how to kind of diet yourself properly, and get yourself in some form of decent shape before you can start training other people. Because when you see some of the other PTs and other gyms that I've been into, and you're saying that they've got an overweight PT, or they've got some snotty little 18-year-old kid who's probably never lifted a weight in his life, who's got arms like toothpicks, they're not going to sell, you know. But the thing is, the mentality. But the problem is, when you go into a gym, if you're a member in January, they don't look at the person with the amount of qualifications on their belt. What they do is they go in and they see the first person that looks friendly. That's how they pick their people. You know, like I could have, let's say I have 30 different qualifications for nutrition, 30 different qualifications training. If I'm walking around, you know, with a face like a slapped ass, looking miserable, you know, and then you got the other guy, like say Jimmy, who's happy, they're going to go to the happy guy because it's a positive attitude. You know, they'll just reach out for the first person that looks like they can hold a conversation.
Yeah.
So, Jace, what's at the minute? What's your pet hate for the industry?
Pet hate. Oh, Christ. I think people. Right. I think you probably know what I'm going to say here anyway. So I think my biggest pet hate is when people portray themselves as PTs who aren't PTs, and they have a social media profile. Right, it's fine. Have your own personal profile, post what you like. But when they get another profile, which is like a fitness profile connected to that, and you're not a PT, right? You're not in a position to give out advice, fact. So, in fact, any advice you could be giving out could be incorrect. But yet, people follow them because they're wearing their best Gymshark kit, you know, doing a side pose mirror arse shot, you know what I mean? It just frustrates the hell out of me. And I think that's my biggest pet hate. People who just have profiles for the sake of it, but they're not linked to any fitness. They don't have any fitness qualifications whatsoever. They're just doing it to gain following. And unfortunately, that's the biggest thing I've seen increase in the last 6 months. It's like so many profiles, you know, getting done, but no one's actually qualified. They just got like thousands and thousands of influencers, but then they're probably not actually making any money out of that because number one, they're not qualified, and they're not qualified to give out any advice. But yet every single shot that they're doing on Instagram is a picture of their ass. So they don't actually have any, you know, people look at it and they go, right, yeah, I'm not going to buy from this person because all they're doing is putting pictures of their butt on each photo. You know, like you need to engage with people. People buy into you. They're not buying into the other side of that. So let's say, for instance, like Liam, you know, like when he does stuff, he was doing stuff with resistance bands and stuff, like, and he did the, you know, the radio thing. Like, people want to know how you're training. They want to know how you're eating. They want to know that you're having crap times. Like when you're doing a podcast and you're honest about things, people want to know what you're going through, your daily struggles. They don't want to see, you know, your brand new Vanquish bottoms that you got from, you know,
It's
on Amazon maybe or something. They don't care. People don't care.
That's one of the things that frustrates me as well. Is that it's just the narcissism that it's involved on the fitness industry at the moment. It's all about me. Look what I've done, and that's fine. If you, for example, there's a lot of people that have their fitness page because they are passionate about it, but don't offer a service that you're not qualified to do, because as you know, what works for someone might not work for the other person. And you know this through your own experience, your fitness journey. These people don't know how to do this service for other people. And just because they have probably amazing gymnastics and are a bit obsessed with training, they got a good physique, and they say, I'm a PT. Like, you're not a PT. You don't even have a course.
Correct.
But go have a course, because it's not that hard to get a course, like to be a PT. And this is one of the things that surprised me when I got here in UK, because, for example, when I did my gym instructor in Portugal, the two people that were teaching us, they were doctors. They were PE teachers with a doctorate on top. They had to train people for Olympic Games. It's like it's very serious there. And when I got here, they said, "Oh, I took a course, and it was I had level 2 and level 3 included, and it was a month." And I'm like, "What?" It's like that's very surprising, and that's why I can understand why you say that.
Yeah, it's not like a hatred thing. It's just something I've seen a lot of. You know, it took me. Even now, I'm still learning to be a better person, PT wise, and a better. My knowledge has gone up so much in the last 6 months, but I still want to learn more, because I think, you know, I don't want to train. I'm not the kind of person that wants to train people that want to get shredded. That used to be what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do 10 years ago, because obviously I was doing my competing. A lot of people asking about ab workouts and getting shredded, and I thought. Then when I started PTing in the gym group, I started getting a lot more females, just normal people, normal everyday male and female clients, and I started enjoying that more, because I thought, when you see, you know, or they message you privately and they'll be like, you know, just fitted into my jeans I haven't worn for like, you know, 10 years. It's a really good feeling. And that's one of the reasons why online is so great, because I do a lot of non-essential wins as well, like non-scale victories, because the fixation between females and scales at the moment is a joke. It's a joke. Yeah. Honestly, the biggest problem I encounter at the moment is every female that I take on as an online coaching have been through Herbalife, Slim Fast, Weight Watchers, Body by V, Boom Bod, everything. They've done everything. You know, they've been on drastic shake diets a lot. And it's just really upsetting when you talk to them and you think, how have you managed, you know, this as long as you have done? You know, like, it's just crazy. And it's just trying to move people away and actually get them to understand that they need to go on how they feel, and not on scale. Even guys. I've got some guys in my coaching at the moment. One guy weighed himself after 4 days. I'm like, why? What's the point? Why would you do that? You know, it's crazy. Then he'd had bad experience with an online coach who put him on 1,400 calories a day. I'm like, I've got females that are on higher calories than that.
400?
1,400.
Oh, 14.
But that's still low.
For a man.
Guy who's busy, it's a very, very low place to have calories. Do you know what I mean?
What do you think? Because I think the biggest problem for obviously the scale side of things, and all these, not even just females, but everyone doing like the Weight Watching stuff. What do you think is the big issue? I think personally, I think it's social media, and it's
Yeah.
watching YouTube channels of some woman who isn't qualified, doesn't really have an idea of what she's talking about, and probably sees someone else do a video and then just sits there and explains her workout and what works for her.
Yeah.
But instead of, and this is linking back to the other part, it doesn't bother me when people post videos of them training in the gym, because it's fun to make them videos. I understand that. What bothers me is when people go, best way to get abs, this is how I do it. And I'm like, the best way to get abs is not to train your fucking abs, you idiot.
It's not.
Yeah.
You got to dock that and drop one, right? But it's like they give miscommunication and mislead people, or like, for example, when I first qualified, right? I learned more in my first year of PTing with being around all of you guys, both of you, T, all them people, James as well. I learned more about, and John Joe, I learned more about PTing, the way to do things and exercises and how they work in the diet side than I did on my course.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'd agree with that as well. You do learn a lot in the first year.
I was exposed to people like you, who's been in the industry for like 15 years or something like that.
Yeah.
I was exposed to you. So like, you know, when I'm watching you with a client and then it just be a passing comment like, oh, how come you did this? And you'd be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And I learned more from that way than sitting there with a fucking textbook and going, oh, this is what Google says. Do you know what I mean?
But you hit the nail on the head. That's the problem. People Google too much nowadays, don't they? It's just there. And don't get me wrong, Google is like an amazing search engine. It is. It's brilliant. It does the job. But you know full well, if you type, oh, hang on, I've got a lump on my arm, you've got a cancer. Yeah.
But that's the thing.
You know full well, it's not like that. It's awful. So it's Google is just as it is. It's a search engine. Doesn't mean everything that's on there is factually going to be like updated to the correct means.
That's the thing, Jason. For example, it's different. Someone that has no fitness background reading a fitness study than you reading a fitness study. There's a difference. You have knowledge. You will understand the study. Someone that has no background, he will interpret that in a silly way, probably. That like, you will understand.
They get that keto stuff. Like with the keto side of things, right?
Yeah.
Like we all know keto does work, right? But it's not for everyone. So they read a study on keto and they'll go, oh my God, this looks amazing. This is the best way. And then they will either do it or they'll push it on everyone else. And realistically, like they don't understand so many other aspects of the keto diet and how to maintain it and the appropriate foods you should be eating and all that sort of stuff and everything that goes in with supplementing properly. And we know all that side of things. So if we had a certain type of client, we understand it on a vast, on like a bigger scale to know that would keto be beneficial for that client, or would fasting be beneficial for that? Like Jason, I remember you saying actually in the gym just before you left, you said something about a female that was looking to lose a lot of body fat and she wanted to do fasting, or she's done fasting before, or I can't remember if it was something that happened to you or if you heard another story. But you were saying about someone who struggled with eating and overeating, and then you're going to make them fast for 8 to 10 hours a day. It's ridiculous, because all they're going to do is just binge eat.
Yeah, correct.
They're not going to be able to handle it because they're used to eating every 2 fucking hours. But it's things like that, and people would read and go, fasting is the best. Yet, don't eat until 4 p.m. or don't eat until you've done your workout. But it doesn't work for everyone. I can't fast. I'm a miserable bastard.
No, I can't fast either.
I can.
There are benefits to fasting, but what I will say is, if you're someone who's physically overweight and has, diabetes or could be borderline, then taking away like food away from and making them fast for 16 hours when they've blatantly got cravings and still got their management is their stress levels are still bad or their relationship with food is bad, and then all of a sudden you're going, okay, what we'll do is we'll make you starve for 16 hours and then we'll put an 8-hour window for you to binge like a twat. You know what I mean? And
the calorie surplus can still be there.
When you're giving someone that style of diet, then for some people that have got a good discipline, they can follow it and probably do really well and probably lose 5 pounds in the first week. But let's be honest, if you're a guy, you don't want to lose 5 pounds when you're dieting. You just want to try and maintain everything you've got. When you're a female, it's all about, if I lose 5 pounds in the first week, it's amazing. And then they think they've smashed it. And then you think the next week, you'll probably lose 2 pounds. And then they think they've failed and then they'll quit.
And one of the things
you want people to be losing a small amount of weight each week. They shouldn't be losing big amounts. And things like Cambridge diet, yes, someone will lose 3 stone in 2 months because you're putting someone on 800 calories a day, and they're starving themselves and they can't eat. So they might as well just drink water. So just go and drink water. There's no calories in that. You don't want any calories. Just drink water all day and don't eat for the next 3 months. You'll soon lose weight then.
One thing I find with fasting is that once you decide not to fast anymore, it's so easy to gain weight so quickly. Because, for example, you learn how to fast for a certain number of hours, and when you have one meal, you try to cram all your calories on that meal, and it's so easy to eat a lot. The worst thing is like, okay, I don't want to do fast anymore. And you start having breakfast. And all the meals that you used to binge, you continue to do so. Instead of spreading the calories throughout the day, you still have the same amount of calories on that 8-hour window, and you still have breakfast. So you're adding more 600 to 700 calories on your day. That's why it's so easy, because you get used to eating big lumps of food when you're fasting, and then when you're not fasting, you have to try not to do that, and that's another struggle. And for me, this is why I try not to skip breakfast anymore, because I can eat a lot, and it's one of my crimes.
Yeah, you do.
On the same note, I mean, Emma finds out a lot with me, see, because even with work, I get when I'm on a productive day, I'll just get straight into work, get all my stuff done by about midday, but then I forget to eat, and then I'm thinking about when I'm doing my stories and stuff for Instagram, I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, you know what? I still haven't eaten yet, and I'm telling people they need to eat because I know that I'm making these mistakes, and it was like this morning. So this morning I woke up, I ate, I made a chicken wrap this morning actually for breakfast, because I thought, I know if I have something else, it's not going to be filling enough, or I just quick go foods for me, that's how I've been going. It's just easy, and then I know I can at least be sustained until around 1 or 2 o'clock before I have something else to eat. But I don't like cooking, and I never have done. I'm not one of these people, and like I said to you before, when people have got these recipes, which has got about 60 different ingredients, and I say, oh look at this avocado chicken baked pie, only takes 6 hours to make. Yeah, cheers. Yeah, no one's going to do that. It's like, they're not going to do that. Just make food. You've got someone who's got a busy lifestyle. All they want to do is, right, okay, morning time, have some Greek yogurt and strawberries or something. Or if you've got time, then just have egg on toast. If you can have, get protein and carbs in first meal. Meal 2, have a wrap. Easy, quick food. Dinner time, then you can have what you like. Or if you don't want to cook, get a slow cooker, whack it all in there, done. Your meal's ready for when you get home. It's just about organisation. That's something I've had to learn, and I have to try and, educate my own online clients for doing that, because they're all over the place. Yeah. They're trying to juggle everything with 10 hands. And I said, you can't do that. You need to structure your day out. Yeah. And I was the same before I took any clients on. I was all over the place trying to sort out when to post this, when to do stories. I haven't got time to do that. I'll doing a diet, and then I get to the weekend and I couldn't switch off. Yeah. And now I'm in a much better place because I have systems in place to do that, and I actually write stuff down. Old school, just write stuff down.
So, Jason, we are already on 45 minutes on this podcast. So, just to finish, because you are one of the most honest persons I've met, I want to ask you something. I think Liam wants to hear your feedback as well. What do you think about Weight Watchers?
Weight Watchers. I think basically it's a massive cop out. I think the idea behind Weight Watchers is they're just trying to make money from people losing weight, and then they're incorporating. It's like Slimming World. They just bring out these meals. Go to Sainsbury's and they've got a Weight Watchers range of, tagliatelle, when you can buy the same tagliatelle cheaper. Ready-made. It's just a big money-making scam, and obviously the way they tracking things, and then they have sins as well, and it's just I hate it. I hate those, and I always hate them, that culture of dieting, the Weight Watchers, Slimming World, can't eat this, can't eat that. When you shouldn't be penalised on the food you eat. You need education on eating better nutritional food, but not everyone's always going to cook salmon, basmati rice and dill sauce, are they? It's just it's not. People are going to want to eat a biscuit, and they're going to want to eat. Sometimes they're going to want to have, a Krispy Kreme. I tell people they don't have to cut that out, but they just have to be aware about how much food they're actually eating. Because let's be honest, we know that it's calorie deficit, big word that gets thrown around for the last 2 years, yet people still don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll cut out their food, but what they won't do is they won't reduce. They'll cut out the food or all the bad foods, but they'll still be overeating. And that's the biggest thing you find. People have no idea of how many calories they're eating on a daily basis. But I do hate Weight Watchers. I hate any of them slimming clubs. I hate them. They don't educate people as well. No. That's the biggest problem. They want to get people in a room, clap them all. They'll get Joe Blogs come to the front. Oh wait, he's done 5 pounds. The person that hasn't lost weight at the back gets made to look like a tit, and they just feel like crap.
Yeah.
Because this is one thing I speak to about, when I speak taking people online, is they've cried on calls with me on their first call, saying that they were made to feel bad because they didn't lose weight that week. And it's like, well, that's not how I work. It's just a really shit way of doing things.
I think, for example, it's like you said, they're not educating people, so they keep people ignorant and make them stuck on buying their products, so they can achieve results. So it's like you training a person, and PTs don't do that. Or if you do, you're not a good PT. But if PTs, imagine you going to a personal trainer and a person asking, oh, why do I need to have just this calories? And you just say, just do what I'm telling you. That's what you need to do. And you don't educate that person. And they say, why do I need to do this movement? And you just say, just do what I'm telling you. PTs are not like that. They actually educate someone. And that's why I tell people whenever someone comes to the gym and I say, do you know what you're doing? And someone says, oh, not really, but I've seen some videos. And I said, look, get a personal trainer for 2 or 3 months. Imagine you taking a course. Ask him as much question as you can, and then go on your life. This is the best thing you can do, so you will stick at the gym.
Yeah.
Because PTs have so much knowledge to offer. Just get a personal trainer, get as much education you can from him, steal information from him, steal, and then go on your life. I think everyone should do that. We have, for example, years of people that go to the gym and they come and ask us all the time about protein and losing weight, and they look the same.
Yeah.
And I said, look, you're just wasting your life, or you're just wasting time every day, and you look exactly the same.
Yeah.
So I gain 10 kilos, I lose 10 kilos. It's like all year I'm changing and everyone looks the same. It's like you guys, we do bulking stages, like not crazy bulking stage, but we gain a little bit of weight, we lose a bit of weight, and we're always changing throughout the year. And these people, always the same. It's like,
totally agree, man. Totally agree. And it is. And it will never change, because people will still continue going down that path when they do that.
They're against getting help, I think, some people, or they don't.
Ego, isn't it?
Yeah, it's ego, or they don't. They'd rather go and spend 25 quid on a Domino's delivery on the Saturday, or spunk 90 quid a week uptown in pubs and bars, but they won't put that into personal training, which, like you said, if they did 4 months worth?
Yeah.
4 months worth.
It would change their life.
Yeah, they would sit there and they'd go, shit me. Everything I've been doing, I can see what I've been doing wrong. I now know how to diet. I now know the correct way into training and how to train for me and my specific goal. Yeah. And they will get the outcome that they actually wanted in the end. And they'll go, right, now I know where I need to be and how I need to get there. Yeah. But they would rather go uptown, spunk 100 quid a weekend on shitty food and McDonald's, and then when Sunday comes, sit there and cry on why they still look the same. And
spend all day looking at people that look better than them.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know why I feel so empty.
Yeah. It's priorities at the end of the day, guys. You know, like I've said this before. I had someone who literally signed up with me about 3 months ago to coach. And then he had bad relationship issues. You know, he split up with his wife. And then he goes, "Oh mate, my headspace is not great at the moment." I went, "No worries, man. No worries. It's cool. Don't worry about it." And he said, "I can't really afford it." Then within 2 weeks, he'd gone and bought a new car. And I was like, "I hate you." You do. So just be honest with people. Don't be a dick. You know, it's like, for God's sake, just be honest. You know, you want to buy a new car. Obviously, don't worry about the fact that you're 22 stone and you need to lose 10 stone off your body. You just buy a new car, mate. And I follow this guy all the time. You know, I keep looking every single day at his profile because I just want to see how. I just think it's every time he's moaning about life. You know, like, oh, gyms are closed. Oh dear. Well, do you know what? If you'd actually online coached with me for 3 months, you probably would have lost 3 stone by now, rather than moaning and actually spending another £300 a month on a car.
Mm.
Just you know, because guys do it. Oh, the new whip.
It's the way to get a new girl.
No one cares what car you drive.
It's the way to get a new girl, Jason. It's not the abs anymore. It's the car.
Yeah, bunny.
Yeah, the new whip. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, and it's not like it's not even like it's no. If someone says the new whip and it's a Lambo, I'm all open eyes for that, you know. But when someone goes the new whip and it's an Audi, I'm thinking, mate, your priorities are all wrong. Seriously, they are all wrong.
Oh, guys, thank you so much, Jason. We need to do this another time because there's a lot of.
I'm always here, man.
There's a lot of questions I wanted to ask you that we don't have any more time.
No, that's cool with me, man. Just let me know. Let me know. Always happy to help, guys.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys.